Hey Rule Breaker, Courtney here with copywriting, business, and life advice for rebels with a cause. Have you ever had writer's block? I'm assuming the answer is yes, as it might be the most common problem in the world that doesn't exist. Here's what I mean by that. I don't believe in writer's block. I think that writer's block is this fancy term for people who are procrastinating, and I'm not blaming you. What I'm blaming is authors and people in, Hemingway, people like that, who tried to find a fancy way of talking about the fact that they were suffering from procrastination and the lack of an effective writing process. Writing is like anything else. If you have a process and you know how to summon the muse and all of that, then you can apply that process anytime you need to write something. I have a writing process I've been using for years and it's never failed me yet. I teach it to all of my clients and students, and I'm going to teach it to you right now so that you can say goodbye to writer's block forever and ever and ever. Everybody is making the same big mistake. They go on, and you've probably done this, you go in, you open a blank Word document, and then you try to write. You think, okay, let's go, I'm gonna start writing. That's why you have writer's block. You've skipped like 3 steps ahead of the process. Of course you're not gonna be able to have anything to write. So here's what you need to do first. Number 1, you've got to have a brainstorming exercise. So there's a couple that I like. I'm gonna share those with you. The first one I like to do is just a simple free write. I just like to journal by hand usually. I'll talk about that in a second. And just write all of my ideas on a topic. The second thing you can do, which is something that we learn how to do in school, is that you can create a web. So what a web is you write the topic of the thing you're writing about in the middle of a sheet of paper, and then you branch off ideas from the middle, and then from those ideas, you branch ideas off of those, so things that relate to those topics, and you keep going until you just have a full page of paper and tons of material. The reason why that works is because it actually imitates the way that your brain neurons fire. So now that you've done a free write, the next step of the process is to create an outline. So what this means is just having the title of the thing you decided to write and then taking the content that you brainstormed and putting it into an outline. So some bullet points or maybe a longer outline with like different levels of bullet points, however that works for you. So you don't need to write any complete sentences at this point. It's just an outline. Fragments are fine. Once you've got your outline done, you might want to go and do some research, add some more information. You might think it's fine and that's good to go depending on what it is that you're creating. The next step would be to turn that outline into the finished product, into a piece of writing, an actual draft of something. Or you might like to know that I actually have an outline in front of me on my computer as I'm doing my videos so that I can refer to the bullet points and then just riff on those bullet points as I do my videos. After you do that, it's about revising. So in my case for this, what I'll do is take the video, go and have it edited, and then whoop, here it is on the blog. So that is the writing process. Remember, there's a bunch of steps to the process before you actually start getting to the draft. Make sure to do your brainstorming and outlining first. That is how you eliminate writer's block. I almost forgot to tell you about why I write by hand. So I believe that writing by hand is much more creative and it allows us to come up with way more ideas than typing. When we go to type, it's a lot more restrictive. There's only, a certain number of keys. It's not your handwriting. It's not as physical and tactile. And so I think that it blocks a lot of creativity. So I do recommend, if you are brainstorming, to write by hand as much as possible, especially if you suffer a lot from this writer's block thing that seems to be so common. And the other exercise that you can do that I highly recommend is doing voice recordings. So for people who really don't like to write, but who like to talk, you have to get over the fear of listening to your own voice, and that comes just from doing it over and over and over again. It happens with videos as well. And just get on your iPhone, your smartphone, whatever, and record yourself talking about the topic, and you will come up with all kinds of stuff that you never knew was inside of your brain. And if you really like this video, I would love if you shared it on Facebook and Twitter with all of your entrepreneurial writing friends or anyone who's struggling with the mysterious, non-existent writer's block. And I will see you next week.